Hello Stampers, this is super awesome stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wisconsin, USA. Thanks for joining us for our October 2025 Global SU Share Fair event. So in this video, I will share the Pet Love brand new online exclusive stamp and die set. So I've just taken some dies off, and when I use them, I place them on this magnetic mat that I got from my downline K. I use these mats all the time, but that's to make sure that they don't get on my carpet or in my trash can. So when I take them off of the sheet, I put them on that metal piece right there. So you can buy the stamp and the die set individually or as a bundle. Again, current, just introduced online exclusive. Check it out if you got to make some pet cards with cat and dog themes. All right, so I started with the Daffodil Delight base, and then let's do some stamping. You can see off to the side, I've already got them cut. But here is the image, the kerchief, the neckerchief, and I'm just using scrap basic white cardstock. There's that, and then Daffodil Delight ink pad. I'm gonna move that off to the side so I don't get ink where I don't want it. Gonna pull in my early espresso and stamp. The love comes on with 4 paws. In this right here will work. Okay, and then the other stamping that I need to do is on the cardstock. So I'm gonna pull it back my yellow. And all the measurements and the supply list with item numbers will be included in the PDF that we compile. So ask the demonstrator that invited you to this event to get a copy of that email PDF. Now you have to wait until the event is over to get that PDF, because some of us need to upload our Facebook Live videos to YouTube so we can include that YouTube link. So I've got the 4 paws going all the way around that frame. I'm putting them up a little closer to the corners this time because I'm going to fill the middle with that. Oop, I'm gonna do it this way. Fill the middle with that DSP strip. There, so my 4 corners have got the paws, whereas my sample just has kind of offset because I wasn't exactly sure where I was going with that. All right, Need for Tweed pattern paper is an online exclusive as well. If you like textures and warm colors, Need for Tweed is something you'll need to add to your shopping list. So we just got our basic layers that I'm using today. Make it easy, and a basic matted layer always looks nice. Just eyeballing it. This over that. And then this is the piece that was left over after I cut off these 2 pieces, the 4 by 5 1/4 inches. So for the metric people, whatever you have left on the top, maybe you're gonna have to cut a new piece. That's just what I attached over that. And then I've already die cut a set here. So I showed you the stamp version, and I already die cut a set. Perfect kerchief right there. And I am going to anchor them, the knot of the kerchief and the other side at the top of the DSP, and it's hanging off a tiny bit over on the left side. That kind of brings your eye all the way around the card when everything isn't completely centered on that yellow mat. All right, these bones are kind of fun. There are some cut marks to add some detail. So there's 1 bone die cut in the set, so I had to run it through twice. And then there are 2 hearts, and I used 3 hearts on my sample. Let's bring that in. 1 to anchor the kerchief and 2 up above. And I use glue dots to anchor those down. Same with the bones. Glue dot on either end. If you've got some green glue, Tombow liquid glue, that works really good on these small pieces. My Tombow glue is almost out, which actually works really well for these smaller pieces, but I wanted the less sticky option. So just overlap the bones. And then the two hearts. There's a front and the back side. So we're going to have the puffy side up. Just attach those to glue dots right now so they don't get lost. I'm looking for that puffy side. And there is a little bit of shading. I wouldn't say shading, but there's a little bit indent there to add some detail. Okay, that's my trash. Okay, so I am going to put these on my magnet because I have to walk across. I got maybe 5 feet between each workstation here, but don't want to lose them on the carpet. All right, and then we're going to pull on our paper snips. And I did try just a square piece. Should we do that so you can see the look? If I can even get it square. I didn't like all the empty white space at the top, but maybe it was just too stark for me. I like the rounded edges of fussy cutting the verse. Yeah, it was just, and it was too blocky. Not whimsical. So let's just do some fussy cutting real quick. Okay, and then I attached it over the, again, the need for tweed. It's just too blocky without it being fussy cut. So I like to use the scrap DSP for layers because why not? It adds some interest on the layer. And if you don't have that color cardstock in your scrap bin, it color coordinates with the rest of your card that way. There. And then I just attach those down with flat adhesive, just the tape runner. And then the hearts. One there. One there. And then the self-adhesive embellishments. These are in the annual catalog. They're carried over from last year. Opal Rounds assortments. There's 2 sizes and 3 colors. So down at the bottom, I picked the yellowish tint to go next to that bone. I picked a small yellow tint for power 3 on the heart there. And then I picked a large one at the top just because I had more of these large ones. So now these are kind of closer together. There's not as much space right there. Let's see, do I like it over here? Do I still like it over here? Let's just put it right there. There. And then the inside, I just make it easy on myself so I don't have a lot of white scrap. I just cut that basic white piece up into 6 pieces. So if you have that same trick, you know about that. For Imperial, let's cut it 4 1/4, and then those 2 long strips that you have left, where are my paws? You cut into thirds. They're not equal, but they're still cut into thirds. It's close enough. And then you don't have any extra little 1/2 inch strips lying around. because I get plenty of 1/2-inch strips from just doing layers. Okay, so there we are. So that is my project for our October 2025 Global SU Share Fair group. Thank you for joining us this weekend. We've got a couple other people behind me. And here's the stamp set again. Online exclusive, just introduced in September. So if you got some kitty cats and dog people that you mail cards to scrapbooking or make party favors, this is a fun one to add to your stash. All right, thanks for watching. Again, follow up with a demonstrator that invited you to this group to get your emailed PDF tutorial that has the project photos, supply list, and measurements. All right, have a great day, and we'll stamp with you soon. Bye.